Welcome dear students. In today's session, we will start the new unit PLSQL. That is, PLSQL stands for Procedural Language Structured Query Language. That means it is a combination of SQL along with the procedural features of programming languages. And this PLSQL programming language is completely portable high performance transaction processing language, and it provides a built-in interpreted and OS independent programming environment to the developers. Now we will see the features of PLSQL programming language. Here I have listed a few features. We will see them one by one. PLSQL is tightly integrated with SQL. As already said, it is a combination of SQL along with the procedural features of other programming languages. So we can say it is integrated with the SQL language. And this procedural language SQL provides a lot of error checking mechanisms to the users, and it also provides various data types like scalar data types, reference data types, and then blob data types, clob, enclob, like that. It offers various data types. Along with that, it provides various programming constructs like decision making statements, loop statements, variable declaration, initialization, then go to statement. Like this, it provides various programming constructs like other programming languages. And this PLSQL provides a structured programming through functions and procedures. Later, it supports object-oriented programming concepts like inheritance, objects, message passing mechanism. Like this, it supports the object-oriented programming concepts. Later, it supports the development of web applications and server pages. So these are all the features of PLSQL programming languages. Next part is to advantages of PLSQL. So these are the advantages of PLSQL. We will see. PLSQL supports both static and dynamic SQL. We have already seen we have two forms of SQL, static and dynamic SQL. This PLSQL supports both types of SQL. Then PLSQL can send the entire block of statements to the database at a time. ಅಂತಂದರೆ SQL ಏನು ನನಗೆ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಲೈಕ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟು ಅಥವಾ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ SQL ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ PLSQL ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ send entire block of SQL statements to the database at a time, and it provides a high productivity to the programmers because as it can query the database and it can transform the database and it can update the database. Hence it gives a high productivity to the developers. Later, PLSQL saves the time of designing and debugging of a database. Next, the applications which are written in the PLSQL are fully portable because in the beginning I have mentioned PLSQL is a portable, highly portable. That means we can execute the PLSQL program in multiple platforms. That's why if the applications are written in the PLSQL are fully portable. And this PLSQL provides a high security level. So these are all the advantages of a PLSQL. Next, we will see the very important part here is the basic syntax or the basic structure of any PLSQL program. So this is the structure of a PLSQL program. It has the main three sections. The first section is the declare, followed by begin section, exception section. Each and every PLSQL program should terminate with the statement end. And now we will see each sections one by one. The first section is the declaration section, and this declaration section is the optional section. That means it is not mandatory one. Then when we use this declaration section, we use the declaration section when we are going to declare the data types. I mean defining the data types, defining the structures and defining the variables. In such situations, we can include the declare section in our PLSQL program. So the next section is the execution section. This execution section actually contains a set of statements or a block of statements to be executed in the program. And this execution section should always contain at least one statement. Hence, execution section is considered to be as a compulsory section or a mandatory section to be present in any PLSQL program. The last section in the PLSQL program is exception section. So it contains a block of code followed by the exception keyword. Then why we should have a block of code means this block of code is used to handle the exceptions efficiently. We already knew that exceptions are the runtime errors. Those errors needs to be handled properly to terminate the program correctly. That's why in PLSQL program also, if we caught any runtime errors, we need to handle them efficiently. That's why we can have the exception block in our program. And this exception section is the optional section. That means all PLSQL programs need not to have the exception block or exception section. So according to the syntax, we can see one example for the PLSQL program. Here I have a declare section because I have one string variable, that is a message that has the value hello world. So begin section is a compulsory section and it should always contain one statement in it. So in the given program, it has to display the value which is present in the message variable. In the given example, there is no exception section because I already mentioned exception section is the optional section. We can include only when we are getting the runtime errors. ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನನಗೆ runtime errors ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ನ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಇನ್ ಅದರ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲೀವ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್. And I already told each and every PLSQL program should terminate with the end statement. So next concept is data types and subtypes. So we already knew that data types are the programming construct that every programming language should contain. Data types are used to declare or define the variables, constant and other parameters. So the given diagram shows the list of data types which are available in the PLSQL. So according to this diagram, PLSQL data types are divided into 4 categories. So 4 main categories: scalar types, log types, reference types, composite types. So scalar types are the data types which contains the single values. That means they cannot have any internal components. So these scalar types have the subtypes like number, character, string types, boolean, date, time and interval types. These are all the subtypes which are present in the scalar data types. So next is the log types. Log stands for large object data types. That means it indicates the large data items like text, graphics, images, video, audio and so on. So all these kind of data are represented by the data type which is called as log types. It has the subtypes such as B file, block, clock, nclock. So B file, which is used to store large binary objects in the operating system files. ಏನಂದರೆ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಬೈನರಿ ಫೈಲ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ಟೈಪ್ ಬಿ ಫೈಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ it is a system dependent data type and the size cannot exceed the 4 GB. The next subtype which comes in the log types is blob, which is used to store large binary objects in the database and its size is ranges from 8 to 128 TB. The next subtype is clob, which is used to store large blocks of character data, not a binary data. It is used to store large blocks of character data in the database and the data which is ranges from 8 to 128 TB. The next log subtype or type is nclob, which is used to store large blocks of nchar data in the database. It is also ranges from 8 to 128 TB. So this is about the second category of data type. The next type is reference type. Reference types are the data types which are pointers which identify other data. We already knew that pointers which holds the address of some other variable. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ these are the data types which points the other data. Example is the reference cursor. ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ this is the pointer which points to the result set. Okay, next type or next category in the data type is composite types. These are the data types which have some internal components and these internal components can be accessed individually or independently. We can access the internal components. So the next part is the subtypes. We already discussed the data types and now we will see a new terminology in our PLSQL programming language, that is a subtype. Subtype is a subset of another data type. That means it is a data type which is derived from another data type. Okay, the another data type is the parent data type and this parent data type is called as the base type. Okay, our PLSQL defines subtypes in the package standard. ಓಕೆನಾ PLSQL ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನನಗೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಸಬ್ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಸಬ್ಟೈಪ್ಸು ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೀಡಿಫೈನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಎರಡು ಸಬ್ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಒನ್ ಸಬ್ಟೈಪ್. ಸೊ ಟು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಟೈಪ್ ವಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಟೈಪ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ followed by name of the subtype and its base type. Okay, so subtype, name of the subtype is character and its base type is the char. So we have another example. Here subtype is integer and its base type is number. Okay. So based on this one, we will see one program. Nodi, subtype which should include in the declare section. Here I have declared or I have defined two subtypes, name and message. Name is of type character, message is of data type varchar. Okay, by using these subtypes, I have declared two variables. ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈಗೇನು ನೇಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಈ ಸಬ್ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಎರಡು ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ N ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ S. So in the next part, that means in the begin section, I have assigned values to the variables N and S. N is assigned with the hello value and S is assigned with the welcome value. And next part is I am displaying the values held by the variables N and S. So this example or this program illustrates the defining of subtypes. Thank you, students.